Let me be very honest with you today, because I think someone needs to say this. There are women, beautiful, stunning women, who are using their makeup as a shield. And some of the things we were all taught, they are actually making it worse. If we haven't met, I'm Vilma. I'm a professional makeup artist based in Europe. And today I'm walking you through 10 makeup mistakes that are quietly, consistently adding years to your face. And for every single one, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do instead. Stay with me. This one matters. Mistake number 1. Skin prep imbalance. This one alone can make your makeup look heavier, drier, and honestly older. And it usually happens in 2 ways. Either your skin is too stripped and it feels tight, very clean, almost squeaky, or you've gone the opposite way and you layered up absolutely all the skincare you've got and it's just sitting on top. Now, why both of these age you? If your skin is too dry underneath, your foundation has nothing to blend into it. So it's just sitting on top, clings to texture, and starts emphasizing fine lines that you didn't even normally knew that you had. So on the other side, if your skin is overloaded, your makeup doesn't grip. It moves, it separates, it slides into lines. And again, it makes everything look less smooth and less refined. So in both cases, instead of your skin looking fresh, it starts looking a bit tired and heavier. What's interesting, a lot of people think that their foundation is the problem, but very often it's actually what's happening underneath. If you have oily skin, you can still be dehydrated, which completely changes how your makeup sits. So what you should actually do instead, you want to bring your skin back to balance. So the goal here is really simple. Your skin should feel comfortable, not tight, not greasy, just lightly hydrated and smooth. And that's when makeup starts sitting beautifully. Also, if you ever felt like your makeup is cakey, sliding around, and it's just not sitting right no matter what you do, I actually have a full free guide on this. It's called Fix Your Base. I will link it below. It goes into things like dehydration, layering, and why products sometimes just don't work together. If this is something that you struggle with, definitely have a look. Mistake number 2, your foundation is too heavy, too matte, or the wrong shade, especially if it's too light. This one can instantly make your skin look older. Let's start with heavy foundation. When you apply too much product or you try to get full coverage everywhere, the foundation, it just sits on top of the skin instead of blending in. And what that does, it starts catching on texture, settling into fine lines, and it removes that natural movement of the skin. So instead of looking smooth, the skin starts looking heavier and more makeup-y. Let's talk about matte foundation. Matte isn't bad, but when it's too matte, especially combined with powder, it takes away that natural light from the skin, and that light reflection is what makes skin looking fresh. So when it's completely gone, the face can start looking flat or a bit tired. And then the big one, foundation is too light. This is very common, especially when you're using winter shade all year round. When your foundation is too light, it can make the face look slightly gray. It highlights texture and removes the warmth from the skin. If you're ever in doubt, should you go for slightly lighter shade or deeper shade, go slightly deeper. Or you can mix a drop of your summer shade into your winter shade, or even a drop of bronzing drops to bring back a little bit of that warmth and glow. So again, thin layers, not a mask, and you want balance. Not fully matte, not fully glowy. A little mix of both. Because when everything is too matte, the skin looks flat. When everything is too glowy, it can start looking greasy. Mistake number 3, concealer is too light or too heavy. And I totally get why this happens. If you have darker under eyes, your first instinct is to cover, and go as light as possible to brighten everything. And this is exactly where things can start working against you. When you apply too much product, it settles into fine lines, it creases and starts looking heavy instead of smooth. And when the shade is too light, it actually brings that area forward. So instead of disguising the under eye, it draws more attention to it, especially if there's any puffiness or texture. And that's when it can start looking a bit dry, a bit heavy, and of course older. So instead, you want to think less about covering and more about balancing. Use less product, also thin layers. Choose your shade that is close to your foundation or just slightly lighter if you want a little bit of brightness. But if you have stronger darkness, don't try to fix everything just with a light concealer, use a little bit of color correction underneath, depending on your tone for your under eye. Or choose a concealer with a right undertone, something slightly peachy, pink, or yellow. That will really be personal to you. That way you're neutralizing first instead of overloading the area and adding, of course, 10 years without realizing it. Mistake number 4, powder. Either too much of it or you completely avoiding it. Both can aid you in different ways. If you go in with too much powder, especially with something very mattifying, it can suck the life out of you. It can start sitting on top of the skin, catching on texture. It's just making everything look heavier and more obvious. But then there's another extreme, being afraid of powder altogether. And I see this a lot with my drier skin clients. We talk about this on my private online makeup lessons. You skip it completely because you don't want to look dry, but then your makeup doesn't set. It moves, it creases, it may not last as long as you want to. And when products settling into your fine lines, it's not exactly youthful looking. You can absolutely powder your face, but maybe not everywhere, or not everything needs the same amount or the same technique. You might press a little bit of powder into your T-zone with a puff just to lock things in case if you have larger pores and you're a little bit more oily there. But the rest of the face, you can just lightly dust it with fluffy brush. Under the eyes, even less. Something very finely milled, infused with hyaluronic acid, because not all powders are the same. Some are very mattifying, others are more hydrating or lightweight, so choosing the right type for your skin makes a big difference. If you have more dry skin, you should choose something more hydrating. For example, powders from Kosas or by Terry, Laura Mercier, Ultra Blur, or mineral powders like Jane Iredale or Glow Skin. And then you can follow up with a hydrating face spray just to melt everything together and have a luminous, fresh, and plump looking skin. Now, if you have oily skin, then you prefer something like Huda Beauty, One Size, or Delilah. Just look for powders with ingredients like talc, silica, or starch. They absorb oil and your makeup just will last longer. Then if you're looking for something universal, happy middle, not too light, not too heavy, you might like powders from Makeup by Mario, House Labs, Laura Mercier, the universal one, not the blur one, Makeup Forever HD powder. All right, mistake number 5, eyeshadow. Either is the wrong tone or placed in a way that adds heaviness instead of lift. And this is where a lot of people get confused. So let's break it down really simply. First, color. If your eyeshadow is making your eyes look a bit dull, tired, slightly gray, it's usually the wrong tone for you. For example, very cool grays or ashy tones on warmer skin can make the whole eye look just flat. And very dark shades all over the lid can feel heavy instead of defining. So instead, you want tones that bring a bit of warmth or harmony to your natural coloring. That's what makes the eyes look alive. And hey, sometimes if you're unsure what color you should choose, just go for bronzer. You can easily give color, depth just with one magical product like bronzer that works perfectly with your complexion. If you would like just to add a little bit of fresh light, go for tones that are leaning towards light peach or light dusty pink. Or if you want a safe bet of eyeshadow palettes, choose neutral, earthy tones. It could be warm, it could be cool neutrals, or a little bit of mix of both. If your skin is cooler undertones, you may lean towards cooler neutrals. If your skin is warm undertones, you naturally may lean towards the warm neutrals. If you're unsure, simply hold color palettes next to your face while looking into the mirror and see which one of these is making you glow, look more alive and fresh, works when blends with your natural skin tones. Now, placement. Think of eyeshadow in terms of light and shadow. Lighter ones, they are reflective shades and they will bring areas forward. Darker shades absorb light, therefore they will push the areas back, especially matte ones since they don't reflect any light. So if you place too much darkness lower on the eye or blend everything downward, it will start pulling the whole eye down and making it look heavier. And shimmer. This is a big one. If you apply shimmer or metallic eyeshadow, for example, all over the lid, especially if you have any hooding or texture, it can actually add volume where you don't want it. So instead of lifting the eye, it makes it look fuller and more closed. A good way to think about this, keep depth slightly higher to create lift. Use light more strategically, for example, a little bit in the inner corner or the center of the lid. A lot of the times we put lighter shade on the brow bone to create more dimension, more lifted eye appearance. If the eyelid is heavier, go for a lighter matte instead of shimmery shade. Also apply it without going too far down since that will visually drag the eye down. Mistake number 6. This is one of those things that can subtly add years without you realizing it. Harsh, unblended eyeliner. If the liner is very strong, very dark, and especially not blended, it can start looking quite rigid. And that rigidity around the eyes, it can make the whole face look more tense, more severe. And instead of enhancing the eyes, the liner becomes the focus. And that's when the makeup starts to stand out more than your features. On top of the lash line, a bit of definition can look beautiful, especially if you have the lid space for it. But if the lid is heavier, a thick line can quickly take away that space and make the eyes look more closed, smaller, and less lifted. In that case, something like tight lining can give you definition without taking up the lid. Now, the lower lash line, this is where often adds years. A dark unblended line underneath can pull eye downward and create a slightly heavier, more tired look. It also makes the features look more structured in a harsher way. So instead, soften it. Use a little bit of eyeshadow, diffuse it gently, or even something like your bronzer on its own works beautifully. You don't need to actually line it. You still get definition, but it looks effortless. And that softness around the eyes, what keeps the whole look feeling fresher and more modern. Mistake number 7, and that can change your whole expression. Brows. Too heavy, too dark, or barely there. If your brows are sparse, you don't give them any definition, or the color you apply is too light, your overall makeup look will lack harmony, looking washed out, may look undone. On the other hand, if your brows are too strong, too filled in, or just one solid block of color, they can make the whole face look more harsh, and of course, can add years. So instead of softening your features, they make everything look more rigid. Now, sometimes this happens because we're overfilling them, or we're adding too much product, making them darker and thicker, more defined than they actually need to be. But sometimes your brows are naturally quite strong already. In that case, adding more is not the answer. You just want to tidy them, brush them up, give them a little bit of shape, only fill in where there are actual gaps. Now, with color, if your brows are the first thing you notice when you look at yourself in the mirror, they're probably too dark. They should blend in with your face, not stand out. And shape matters too. If the tail of the brow starts dropping down, it can pull the whole eye down with it. Even small adjustments like keeping the shape slightly lifted, keeping the front softer and lighter, it can make a massive difference. And when they're softer and more natural, the whole face just looks more relaxed and more youthful. Your brows frame not only your eye, but also your face. And trust me, you don't want that angry bird effect. Mistake number 8, contour or bronzer, wrong shade, wrong placement. This can really affect how lifted and how fresh your face looks. Let's start with the shade. If it's too dark or too cool for your skin tone, it can start looking gray, ashy, or harsh. If it's too warm, it can turn orange. And instead of looking like a natural shadow or warmth, it just looks artificial and very obvious, not exactly youthful or flattering. If you can clearly see it sitting there, it's probably too strong or the wrong tone. Now, how you apply the product matters. If the texture is too strong and really pigmented, then you go in and straight away start sketching directly on your face. You'll most likely will end up with too much product and with a nightmare situation of blending that instantly ages the look. So a much easier way is to pre-blend the product into your brush on your hand first and only then build it up slowly. You'll get a much softer, more natural result without overloading the skin. But you can draw and sketch directly onto your face with a product that is more balmy or sheer in texture and instantly just melts onto your skin. Now, placement is very, very important. If you place it low under the cheekbone and bring it down, it starts pulling the face down with it. Gravity is already doing that. We don't need to help it. You want to keep everything slightly lifted. So place it higher, blend it upward, and don't bring it too far down, and don't bring too far past the outer part of your eye. Same with the jawline. If it's not blended properly or sitting too high, you will start seeing the lines and it won't look natural. If you skip this part, but you have everything contoured, it might feel a little bit out of balance. So a little bit of contour on the jawline is always a good idea. Mistake number 9. If it's done right, it will take years of you. Blush. If you skip blush altogether, maybe you're just not a blush person, you're really missing out on it. And this is where the face can easily lose that fresh, healthy, and youthful appearance. Once you applied your foundation, you've taken away all that natural color from your face. And without bringing it back, the face can look lifeless, more tired, and a bit flat. Now, on the other side, too much blush or the wrong tone or just doesn't work with your natural makeup palette, it just can feel a little bit out of place. And instead of lifting the face, it starts drawing the attention in the wrong way. And that brings me to blending. If the edges are harsh or it's not properly diffused into the skin, it can look like it's just sitting there, almost like a patch. And that instantly makes the skin look heavier, artificial, less refined. And of course, that will age you. Placement of blush is just as important as the placement of contouring. A lot of people even don't do contouring or bronzing. They choose blush or bronzer. And yes, you can absolutely contour just using your blush. If it's sitting too low or just on the apples of the cheeks without being blended outward, it can start pulling the face down. So instead, keep it slightly higher, blend it upwards, even go into the temples or even curve all the way above your brow. Let the color just lift the face. Talking about the color, if you're not sure what suits you, peachy leaning tones are beautiful on warmer undertone skin, pinky leaning shades on cooler undertones, and soft peachy pinks usually are the safe option for everyone. A simple way to check: hold the blush next to your face. If it stands out straight away, it's probably not the right shade. It should work with your complexion and your makeup, not compete with it. And one last thing, always check your blush at the very end of your makeup look. You might add a little more flesh onto your forehead, maybe eyelids, a little bit on the nose and chin. Just a very healthy, youthful flash of color. Don't underestimate your blush because when it's done right, it will take years of you. Finally, mistake number 10. And this is the final step that can either bring everything together or make the whole look feel off. Lip color and definition. If your makeup ever looks a bit off, you don't know why, this is usually it. Let's start with color. If the lipstick is too light or too nude for your complexion without any lip contour definition, it can wash you out. Your lips almost disappear, and that can make the whole face look less defined and a bit more tired. On the other hand, if the color is too strong or doesn't match your undertone or competing with the stronger eye makeup, it can start overpowering everything. Now, if the lip liner is too dark, too sharp, or not blended into the lipstick, it creates very harsh edges, and that sharpness around the mouth can make the whole look feel more rigid, and that can add years. The key is harmony, and your lip contour should just sit naturally with your skin tone and the rest of your makeup, not stand out on its own. It should enhance your features, not take it away. If you keep the edges softer and slightly rounder, blend the liner into the lipstick so everything just melts together. You will get definition, but without that harsh line. Youthfulness is this roundness and softness. Everything blended, no harsh edges. And a quick way to check your shade, hold it next to your face. If it jumps out straight away, it's probably not the right one. When your lips are balanced, softly defined, and in harmony with your makeup, the whole face just looks more fresh, more effortless, and of course, more youthful. So these are your 10 mistakes and your 10 solutions. And here is what I really want you to take away from this. It's not about doing less. It's not about settling. It's about doing it smarter. Your face isn't a problem to fix. It just follows a different set of rules whenever we mature. If this video gave you at least one thing you're going to try, tell me in the comments which one hit home. And if you know a woman who needs to hear this, share it with her. That's how we look out for each other. I'll see you in the next one.